2 weeks ago, I posted a video documenting Ray Launch Labs, a brand new Memecoin platform launched by Radium to compete with Pump.fun. Fast forward 14 days and it feels like everyone is trying to get in on the action. But what does this mean for Pump.fun? Are any of them actually any good? And just what does this mean for meme coins in general? First takeaway is that meme coins are exploding as a result of these new platforms. We're seeing runners into the millions daily, and they're coming from the wildest places. Meteora, Radium, Bonk, whatever Boop is. Although Boop has one feature that could absolutely wreck your portfolio if you're not careful, and we'll touch on that a little bit later. We're going to break down these new platforms one by one, going over the pros, going over the cons, how to trade on them, and what to expect when you actually connect your wallet. What I will say though is most of them already have partnerships with the big trading platforms. So for instance, AXIOM right now, you can trade Moonshot tokens, Meteora tokens, Boop that's just launched, Bonk. All of these other platforms that aren't Pump.fun not only are integrated, but you can get wallet track signals from those other chains. So if you see a wallet buy something on Boop, you're gonna get pinged, which is genuinely really cool. For the sake of this video though, we won't be covering Pump.fun or Moonshot because we know what they are by now, how they work and the risks involved. So we'll start our dive through the new meme coin trenches with Bonk. This is perhaps the biggest of all the new meme coin platforms to launch, purely because Bonk has been embedded in the crypto community for a number of years now. Whether it's the Bonk coin itself, the community, or the Bonk bot Telegram thing that isn't directly related but is kind of related and is absolutely useless. However, the team has recently launched Let's Bonk.fun, which sounds like something I would say to my girlfriend on a Friday evening. It too uses Solana and focuses on the community over anything else, but what does that actually mean? For starters, you can actually define your supply when launching the coin. So you can either have something with a lot of liquidity, making it harder to move, or something that will be more erratic than your average heart rate monitor. I think the best thing about the Bonk platform though is that 1% of the fees actually go back towards the ecosystem, be it developing new things or aiding a validator tool to help the community decide on the future of how the site works. That's much better than, well, where Pump.fun money goes or Radium money goes. Like, to know it's actually being directly injected into the ecosystem as part of its white paper is a really nice touch. It's not to say the other guys don't do it, they're just not transparent about how much goes in versus how much comes out. Hosiko was the big runner from Bonk's early days, though, eclipsing a total market cap at peak of around $46 million. So the thing definitely has some juice. I'm still constantly getting pings on my wallet tracker for coins launched on the platform, but how it's going to perform long term is anyone's guess. There's nothing revolutionary here outside of the fact that the fees are clarified to be being put back into the platform. Outside of that, it is literally just another meme coin generator, but from a team that has been so embedded in the world of meme coins for a number of years, there's definitely an element of trust there. On to Meteora's fighter in this battle, which is, I don't actually know, if I'm honest. I still don't know what it is or what it does, but it's working and it's sending coins. Now, before we get started, let's clarify something, okay? Meteora is the company, the liquidity platform that was associated with the Libra coin, is currently potentially undergoing a lawsuit, was associated with the Haley Welch coin, and various other high-profile rugs. So not the best start. However, it has been around the crypto space for a while and people do use it to create meme coins, and there may just be a new evolution on that front. Now, they offer a few different things, but the most interesting is an X account called Launcher Coin, which does what it says on the tin. You tweet the account with a ticker and a name and it will launch the coin for you, seeded by a Meteora pool. I did actually see an example of this recently on one coin pinged from a wallet that I follow, and it works. This was through a different site though called Mentat.fun, which does require you to link an X account, which I actually kind of like, because if you're going to launch a token, you have to put your name to it, which is more than can be said for a lot of anonymous devs that will just rug everyone. If you've got a high-profile KOL that launches a coin and his name's on the front, I think that is far less likely to rug than half of the things we'd see on Pump.fun. So I actually really like that idea and just kind of doxing devs from the get-go. They're also apparently working on a platform called Vote to Moon, which is the exact same premise along with its own website as well. Now, I do kind of like this in theory because you're cutting out the middleman. Instead of sending people to Pump.fun or making them go to a third-party trading platform, you just make a coin on Twitter and then launch it, and you can just have the reply underneath. So let's say, for instance, Elon Musk tweets something and some guy replies, "Make this a coin." it will, and then all these millions of people that don't know about meme coins, that don't know about crypto, might see an opportunity to make money, and it's just going to bring more eyes to the space. So I actually really like that idea. This also could just get lost in the shuffle because it's not actually a real trading platform, and with things like Pump.fun already dominating market share, now already having competition from Radium, from Bonk, and from others, I don't know if something that trying to cut out the middleman actually needs to be the middleman to have any kind of fighting chance. And finally, there's Boop.fun, which launched earlier today. The premise is being simple. They market it on the website as buying into a cult rather than buying into a coin. So if you're a Murad fan, I'm sure you're going to be salivating at the ideas of aping your next rug. But holders actually get rewarded for holding the token in Boop.coin. And the really cool thing here is that if you make a token and it does graduate, you get rewarded with Boop tokens. If you just trade on the platform, you get rewarded with Boop tokens. So see it as like a frequent airdrop, which I think is actually what they're marketing it as on the website anyway. Like one of my friends, for instance, got $1,500 from it just by trading coins on launch day. One of the criteria he said was that you have to hold a coin to graduation, which is hard. That's very difficult. But hey, if you get some rewards from it, it's certainly worth a go. However, there is a red flag here, and that is that Boop, much like the BNB days before it, uses its own liquidity pool, which means that devs can remove the entire liquidity pool with the snap of a finger. We're not talking rugs as in the dev sells on Pump.fun and you have to wait for a CTO or sell at a 50% loss. I mean, you could be up 800%, someone takes out the liquidity and you have nothing. You have lost everything. I think we're past that in meme coins. I think we are so beyond the days of the pancake swap PTSD, of the Ethereum unicorn swap PTSD. We've been there and done it. I'm not Pump.fun's biggest advocate, but I do love the fact that you can't ever get rugged in the traditional sense. You always have a chance and you're always going to get some money back. That might sound like a low bar, but in crypto, a low bar is certainly a high one. Now, do I trust aping meme coins on this? Not really. Like, I really don't. If I see a wallet ping, I might ape in, but I have had good experiences today. I had a couple of 2 and 3x plays that did pretty well for me, but I'm aping with like 0.2 to 0.3 SOL. I'm really not going in heavy because I can't stand the idea of a liquidity pool in 2025. Genuinely makes my spine tingle. It's horrible. However, if you use the platform regularly and you're happy to throw $10, $20 at it and maybe get some rewards, who's to say it's not worth a go? Because realistically, like, meme coin traders are going to go wherever the volume is, and if Boop is able to sustain volume, then it's going to be more incentivized for everyone to hold on to those coins and less liquidity pools and so on. If they already are rewarding traders for using the platform, there's no reason not to at least experiment with it, but I can't exercise the word caution enough because I honestly, the idea of a liquidity pool is horrible. I've been there, I've done it, I wouldn't wish it on anyone, and it scares me. So if you see anything come up on a wallet tracker or you see a coin running, just be extra cautious that the liquidity pool can't be rugged away from you. But what does all of this mean for Pump.fun? Well, not much, to be honest with you. I think Pump.fun still has such a dominant market share that they're not really going to be intimidated by this, but I think competition breeds excellence. If you're able to just coast and ride through without anyone vying for your spot, eventually you get complacent, the product stops developing, and you end up in trouble. Like, I hate to bring it to wrestling, WWE was terrible, AEW comes on the scene, and all of a sudden WWE really starts locking in and putting on a better product. It's the same thing here. The one hope I get, honestly, is that Pump.fun will do an airdrop, because now you've got a new platform coming on with an airdrop to entice people to come in. Boop has already gained a lot of traction. Bonk has also gained a lot of traction. You're going to lose market share, and it might not be to one competitor. You could lose 20%, and that's divided up 5% to Bonk, 3% to Boop, 2% to Moonshot, or however, you're still losing numbers. And the one way they could categorically just end all of that is by doing one massive airdrop, and anyone that's ever traded on the site gets a monumental payday, and that would reaffirm them as the only dog in town when it comes to meme coin trading. But that's a hypothetical. Outside of that, I still don't think anyone actually has the versatility, the creativity, and just the sustainability that Pump.fun has. I think they've been in the game enough now. They've seen enough ups and downs to work out what's good and what's not in terms of the actual product. and it's at a point where everyone knows what to expect, everyone's comfy with it, and it's the equivalent of like logging onto a brokerage to trade stocks. It's no longer this high risk thing you should absolutely stay away from. It's almost revered by the community after some initial unrest. However, as a trader, it is always good to cast your net a little wider to catch more fish, and with more platforms launching more coins lies more opportunities to get rugged and potentially make a 3x to lose it all back again. But I'd love to know your thoughts about this in the comments, guys, and if you did enjoy this video, you would love to see last week's video where I tried to break down whether or not you can still get rich by trading meme coins in 2025 and giving you some advice to become better traders. But until next time, I'll see you in the trenches.